Good. Shall we?
Yeah. Shall we move to?
Or do you want to finish the glass first?
Hey everyone, welcome to episode 42 of Sugidama Podcast, the podcast about Japanese sake, the drink which sometimes looks like something different, for example, like milk. And today we'll talk about the brewery, which, among others, makes such sake. But before I introduce my guests and the brewery, let me tell you about our sponsor, London Sake, which has one of the widest selections of premium and craft sake available online today. You can choose from over 100 sake from 25 breweries, and they will deliver across the UK and many European markets. And if you don't know what sake to choose, you can use simple online tasting notes together with very sensible and affordable food pairings to help you decide. What's more, you can get a 10% discount by just using the code SUGIDAMA, all caps, during checkout. London Sake, making sake simple. My name is Alex, and I live in London. I am a certified sake specialist, sake judge, sake educator, and sake advocate. Besides this podcast, I have Sugidama blog, where I write about all things sake and publish tasting notes, overviews, and information about sake events happening in London. So today is another episode of Brewery Focus mini-series, and we will talk with Elena and Lori from a recently opened sake store, Sake Collective, about one of their breweries, Niida Honke, from Fukushima Prefecture. The brewery is quite old, being founded in 1711, but it's very innovative. Elena will talk about Sake Collective, which opened in London just in August last year, but it's an amazing sake store and bar, with plenty of sake they import directly from Japan. They also do various tasting events, which are fun, a lot of fun. So without further delay, let's listen to our conversation with Elena and Lori about Niida Honke and their delicious sake.
Please welcome our guest.
Hey everyone, we're here with Elena and Lori from Sake Collective. It's a new amazing sake shop open in London, and we're going to talk about one of the breweries they represent. Hello.
Hi.
Hi there.
Thank you for having us.
It's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure. Okay, so why don't we talk about yourselves at the beginning? How you got into sake? What is your story, and about the shop as well?
Well, my sake journey came, pretty much when I arrived in the UK, in London, back in 2012. So I had the chance to join the amazing team in one of the fine dining restaurants in close to Green Park, St. James, actually. So basically, they introduced me to a very great range of the sake, which pretty much I never tried before. So I was a very young lad, probably around 20 years old, no experience whatsoever. And basically I found out about sake. So from that time, basically we got into the wines as well, but sort of sake stayed for me for a very long time, and it's been 10 years, and we are back in Sake Collective right now, which we have a chance to showcase an extraordinary range of the new products which was not available before here in UK.
So, yeah. So have you got any kind of single moment when you tried sake and say, oh, it's something they have never tried before and it's amazing, or something like that?
To be honest, I think one of the first sakes which I still love it until this day was basically the Kamazume Shusen from Fukushima Prefecture, and I absolutely loved it because I was sort of studying spirits mainly in the cocktails, in my early days. And I sort of like very heavy, bold flavors. And the Kamazume Shusen was like very earthy, mushy, like shiitake things. And I absolutely loved it. And, to be honest as well, I'm not gonna lie, in Lithuania we don't really have many different sakes available. And when I tried the sake, it was one of those big brands, which is, great quality and good value for money, but the taste didn't really, showcased everything what I wanted, if it makes sense.
Yeah.
And when I came to London and they gave me this, and it was like a new benchmark in my life. It's like, yeah, that's fantastic, And from that, we start exploring different ranges, different types of sake and etc. And now I pretty much like absolutely everything.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And for me, I think the aha moment was when I was living in Japan. I was there with the scholarship for 2 years, and I used to drink a lot of beer because I'm pretty much a beer person originally, and also in Japan that's quite the custom. But then I went to a dinner with my supervisor at the time, and she took me to this place specialized in tofu that was doing also sake flights, and we tried a couple, so 6 sake, but they were all amazing. I thought, oh my gosh, there's so much variation in this drink, how can it be possible? But the host, the cook, the owner of the place, since he was seeing a foreigner interested in this stuff by out of nothing, he just decided to put an extra glass of koshu, especially for us, and that was like, oh wow, I think I want to learn more about this.
Yeah.
So from that day I never ordered beer again. I was always ordering sake instead.
It's a great
to
experience.
try, yes, as much as possible.
Yeah, it's amazing stories. Okay, like Sake Collective, what it is and how it came into existence in the UK.
Yes, so I did my PhD in Cambridge University, and I was studying Japanese classical literature, in particular texts that were dealing with food and drinks, so sake included. And while doing my PhD, I also joined and chaired for a couple of years the beers and the whiskey societies. And through that, a colleague of mine from the same department, she just realized that I was very into drinks and etc. So she introduced me to our CEO, Yuya Yamamoto, and that's how I got involved into this amazing project.
Yeah. So you opened in
End of July.
End of July.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's quite amazing. It's quite exciting to have a new sake shop in London, because it's we still don't have enough.
Yes.
And they're quite excited as well.
Yes. More people should know about the wonders of sake.
Yeah, exactly. What is the concept of the Sake Collective, and is it like one of all the shops, or it's completely original for London?
Well, I mean, the Sake Collective. So what we are aiming is to be a destination shop, but what we want to offer is not only to be, providing the expertise and, talking with people, but we want to give them an opportunity to try many different sakes as well. So it's going to be sort of mixed venture of the shop and the bar as well. And hopefully as well, we're going to open the kitchen hopefully very soon, so we can actually match our sake with some appetizers and starters as well. But basically, at the end of the day, what we want to do is we want to share the knowledge and we share the love about the sake. And we have an absolutely beautiful range in different types and price ranges available for absolutely everyone.
Okay, yeah.
I guess also in terms of uniqueness, our sister company, which was the original company, Mirai Sake Company, they already have similar shops, which are both retail shops and bars in Tokyo and Yokohama.
Okay.
So I think they did experiment there. Our CEO really wants craft and boutique breweries to keep going on, because of course not a lot of people drink sake, not even in Japan. So he wants to promote them and just let everyone explore what's out there, because it's very good quality products made with a lot of care and love. And he did that first in Japan, and then he came to the UK, and so he thought, why not do the same in London? And I think London is the best place for this because people are curious, you already are exposed to a lot of different cultures. So
Yeah.
I think it's a great call, especially the sake market is expanding as well, and people just can't get enough as well. I think people are very keen and curious about the tastes and flavors, and absolutely knowing the history or fun facts about the breweries and everything related. To be honest,
And you import yourself?
yes, because again, Niida Sake company in Japan, they do have direct relationship with the breweries from which they order directly. And us being sister company, we basically just using them as mediators without having to deal with an actual mediator. So this allows us not only to get the products that we can check the quality of, but also to cut off the prices of mediators. So we are both importers and exporters, basically.
Okay. And how many breweries do you represent here in London?
32 for now.
32, wow.
Yes.
hopefully
quite
by
a lot.
And
by
3
the next
distilleries.
year, it's going to be double.
Yes.
Yeah.
4 distilleries, sorry. There's one that is both a brewery and distillery, so Wakatsuru. So I always think about it in terms of a brewery, but it's also distillery, so 4.
Amazing. Let's talk about one of the breweries. So
Yes.
it's the topic of our conversation today. So would you like to present the brewery, what it is, and we talk about it?
Yes. So we chose Niida Honke from Fukushima Prefecture. They're based in the Kōriyama area, and it's a very, very cool brewery. We pretty much love all of their products. We have 5. They were founded in 1711,
Wow.
so quite a long while ago.
Yeah.
The current owner and master brewer is the 18th of his generation, and he's the first one who's at the same time Kuramoto and Toji, so owner and head brewer. Fukushima, I guess everyone in the UK, the first thing they will think of is the disaster, the triple disaster that hit the region quite a while ago. And the brewery was also heavily affected by it, unfortunately. But not only they put all of the energies in getting the brewery back in full force, but also the brewers, they worked very closely with the local farmers to try to get the whole area clean and to be able to produce a safe to drink product. And actually that was kind of a revelation moment for the head brewery, because they decided that their motto since that moment should be to brew a sake, to make a sake that preserve and protect the rice paddies for the future generations.
Okay. Yeah.
So their basic philosophy is to try and use as much organic rice. They try not to use anything at all. They use frogs, for example, to get rid of insects that might damage the rice paddies. Yeah, and indeed, they included the frog in their crest, in their logo. So
It's a very clever thing.
yeah, you can see
it's
also the
beautiful.
crest. It's very cute.
Yeah.
Also, I love frogs, so
Okay.
for me it's a plus.
Yeah.
That they use a frog for their logo.
I mean, usually they just use what you have in the nature, and that's
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
But even the water is all locally sourced from a mountain nearby, and they also have a well water close to the brewery. Rice as well, they're trying to get it as close to the farm as possible. They're trying to replace all of their tanks with the cedar wood tanks, and they're sourcing the wood from a nearby forest. They're really trying hard to be sustainable and again to produce a sake which is as healthy as possible.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. I mean, frog is definitely a revelation for me that you can,
Frogs are good.
use frogs instead of herbicides and pesticides.
Everyone needs to survive on something.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine frogs running on sake,
Yeah. Because I was thinking, what does mean this symbol?
I think the crest was original, and
Yeah.
then they added the frog to it.
Yeah.
I did not research well enough the logo. I'm sorry
but
about that.
it's very cute. I mean, it's cute.
Yes.
Yeah. I think I like frogs as well.
Great.
Nice creatures, very
Yes.
gentle, and do quite a lot of good things.
Yes.
In terms of sake do they make the whole range of types of sake and things like that? Or because there are some breweries that focus they make like only Junmai Ginjo, for example, or some breweries they say, oh, we don't make Junmai Ginjo at all. We only make Junmai Honjozo and things like that.
I actually don't know whether they have the full range. They might not do Honjozo and stuff like that because they're trying to add as little as possible, but I might not. It might be in the plans as far as I'm aware. Also, I don't think they do Koshu. But apart from that, they do Nigori, they do Junmai, they do Junmai Ginjo. This one is an experimental one. I think I've read once on the internet that the way they polish the rice and the quality of the rice they have allows them to polish as little as possible to still obtain full of flavor and all the features that they want from a nice and sweet sake. So even the sakes we're going to try tonight, I think they're all 80% and only 60%. The Junmai Ginjo,
Okay. So are they located in like an inland, or they closer to the seaside?
Inland, yeah. It's in the very center of Fukushima. So I think they were on the edge of what was the affected area because of the radiations, but like giri into it.
Okay. So why did you choose this particular brewery?
It was very hard to choose one, honestly.
I can imagine. 34 breweries.
Yes. And honestly, I tried a lot of good things so far. I think I chose them because I really like the attitude they have towards sake brewing. I think it's really cool that they're trying to think about the future generations as well, not just the present moment. And also because I personally love the Junmai Ginjo. I think it was probably one of my top favorites products. I really like it. Yes.
So have you met anyone from the brewery?
Not yet, no. I haven't been in Japan since 2017 now. So it was in the plan for 2020, I think, after submitting my PhD, but of course something happened.
Okay.
Hopefully soon.
But you plan to visit some of the breweries?
It would be really great.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. Also, I was interacting with them with emails and such sometime, and they're all so nice and kind and like, oh, I just want to go there and say, I love your product. Let's have a drink together, please, and say Kampai. Do hard work.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's gonna be cool. Yeah.
Okay, we're now moving to a tasting session. So you will have 4 sake of the episode instead of just 1.
Okay, so shall we probably try the first one and talk about it and
Yes, absolutely. Maybe we can start with this one when it's still a bit cold. We're gonna try stuff from 2 brands.
Yeah.
One is a Shizenshu, which was created in 1967 by the father of the current head brewer, and the other one is Odayaka. So Shizenshu is the one that is trying to do everything as much as natural as possible. The name literally means natural sake. So no pesticides, in-house yeast, Kimoto method. While the Odayaka one is slightly more experimental. Actually, they are introducing from this brewing year the Kimoto method as well. For the one of the bottle we have, they were using white koji instead.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yes, so interesting acidity.
Yeah.
Yes. Also, the cool fact about Shizenshu is that using the natural yeast, every year the product is slightly different. So it's always worth to try the new batch just to see what's different and interesting about it. I think I would start with the Odayaka because it's very nice and sharp and maybe it works well as an aperitif kind of.
Yeah, let's do that.
So you can see the colors.
Yeah, it's
slightly pinkish.
Yeah, it's pinkish. It's quite interesting.
Yes, because it was aged in an oak barrel that was previously used for red wine.
I see.
So this adds a lot of complexity to the sake. It's very interesting.
Yeah, you can smell the aging straight away.
Yes.
And it's this nice prunes and but it's also like a lot of acidity
Yes.
in the smell. Yeah. And it's like a vanilla sort of. Yeah, I think it's amazing smell.
It's like also to us it reminded us a bit of a jam made with some tarty fruits.
Yeah,
so yes, you were saying
exactly.
actually like plants, but it's both at the same time. So it's not overly sick. It's just nicely.
Yeah, and it's very
sweet,
nice.
but-
It's a very sort of elegant aroma.
Yeah, I don't know if you ever tried it. Anindofu. It's a dessert that it's made with apricot kernels.
No.
It reminds so much
Really?
of that. Yes.
Yeah, there is some kind of you can get some from apricot kernels. Yeah, you can taste the acidity quite a lot. A very complex taste. And,
It is. Yes, I love it.
it's a lot of sharpness. I like this sharpness which
Yes.
cuts through the.
It's a nice complex sake because it's not just sweet, it's not just acidic.
Yeah.
And I think really the red wine barrel adds a lot of.
Yeah, it's amazing one. Yeah, it's and it's I think in terms of versatility, it's probably it's amazing as you said aperitif because you can give people as a start of the dinner or something, and, but it's also you can end it with this particular because it's a nice after dinner drink, and I think it's very good food sake as well because you can have something probably. So, what is your recommendation in terms of food pairing?
So for this one, we were recommending both savory and sweet actually. So in terms of savory, I think this would be great with a cheese board, maybe with a bit of jams because it recalls everything.
Yeah.
Or also chocolate board, like just
Really?
different types of
yeah,
chocolates.
Yeah, I think it will go very well because I was thinking about sake and chocolate, and I even did like some experiment.
So this one I think it would be really good with either a very dark, nice chocolate, very fruity, but also with a milk one because it's sweet enough that it could pair well with either. But also something strongly flavored because the high acidity really can match even stronger flavors.
Yeah, quite
very
dark.
versatile.
Yeah, I quite like the acidity because obviously it's makes it very, very unique. Is it Kimoto, right?
This one not. This one, the brewing year that we imported the sake from is using white koji.
Oh yeah.
From this year, they're
that's
still
why
using.
it's
Sorry, from 2021. So
yeah. So that's why it's this acidity. It's a bit more like wine acidity.
Yes. So I'm actually very curious to try the new one. If it's gonna be as acidic or if it's gonna be something again different.
Because I know that a lot of breweries were experimenting with white koji, but here it's perfect.
I think they did their experiments before coming to this successful conclusion.
And I think this sake, it's in a way it's very close to Riesling, German Riesling, because it's sweet and acidic and light as well. So it's got a lot of things going on, but it's still not heavy, not too acidic. And so it's a nice combination of sweetness, acidity, and other stuff. So I think I quite like it. Yeah, it's different from sake in a way, your traditional sake.
But it's still sake. It's like as you were saying, it's like a Riesling, but this is like it's still sake.
It's still sake, and it's still sake, but it's quite interesting deviation from traditional,
definitely.
Traditional taste, and it's an amazing one. Yeah, it's definitely something. And this is sake you can probably recommend people who never tried sake before.
Yes.
As an entry level. I mean, not in terms of like price or quality, but entry level as the Western palate, probably more.
Yes, because it's slightly closer to wine.
Yeah.
This belongs to our experimental fridge. All our fridges are labeled in easy to understand categories for customers, especially those who have no idea about what sake is, what kind of range that can be. And usually we do take customers to that fridge. Those who are into wine but they don't know where to start from. Or also those who want to try weird things, because we also have those.
But yeah, I love the way you split sake in different categories. Very easy to understand for everyone. Whatever people tried sake before, no, it's very sort of, it's one of the reasons for sake having like a not developing fast enough outside Japan. It is difficult to understand all these categories and labels, and when you put it very simple way of conveying what it is, particular sake, so it makes it much easier to understand, much easier to try, and it's amazing.
Because this is 80% polished, so one person might very well just say, oh, it's not polished enough, and it's not going to be complex enough, and then you know,
but it's very complex.
You can play around with other factors.
It's amazing sake. Very cool.
I forgot to say that. So this is Odayaka. This was created by the current head brewer in '94, and he didn't want to live with the benefits of the fame of the Shizenshu brand. So he's trying to do interesting things. So for example, they're also making a sparkling one that we have in the shop. It's made with the second bottle fermentation, exactly like a champagne. And it's slightly cloudy, so it's not as sweet and fruity maybe as another, let's say, typical sparkling sake, but at the same time it has more complexity, more things going on.
I like that they experiment. They're not afraid of.
They're doing both. I think it's great. It's a healthy attitude to, of course, pay homage to what we know. It makes sense that it's made the way it is. But also, why not try something different?
I think what I like about sake is this combination of traditional sort of base and a lot of experimentation, a lot of innovation, which is amazing.
And you can also see the personality of the brewers, because some people might to play a bit more with some things, some people with others. I think it's very interesting.
Cool. It's amazing sake to start with, and I definitely can imagine if somebody asked me, oh, I want to try some sake. It's because I mean, if you sometimes try very traditional sake, sometimes people can be a bit like put off by lack of acidity or something like that. And but with this one, it's definitely a great thing for anyone who likes wine.
Sugedama blog.
Okay, before we try 3 other sake from Niida Honke, again, only virtually, my dear listeners, let me remind you about London Sake, our sponsor, and their huge selection of curated sake sets, which provide a great opportunity to explore various styles and types of sake. Have a look, but don't forget about the magic word Sugedama, all caps, to get your 10% discount.
Now we have a choice between the Shizenshu that you tried already, room temperature, because it's better. Because it's 13.8%, so it's around same. This one was 14.2, so we're staying in the same range. Because this one, I think it's more complex, so maybe better. I would do this personally, so 1, 2, 3, but up to you.
Okay,
Yeah?
Okay.
Unfortunately, we didn't bring the Atsukan pot.
I like the one shot.
So actually, they do small size for all the Shizenshu series. I think they're all very, very cute. I think this is one of the things we're trying to get.
This one is. I like the bottle, and definitely. This one is definitely more traditional.
Yes.
Riciness.
It's very ricey, touch of mushroom.
What is the polishing?
80.
80.
Yes. The Ginjo is the only one that is 60%.
I think it's like a new trend. I mean, not probably very new, but it's a trend to try to go away from this excessive polishing, because it's good for environment, because you don't polish it too much.
You use more.
And it's also, you can get much more stuff in terms of complexity, taste, aroma. And and I was talking to Jim Ryan and Andrew Russell. They making amazing like a sake deep dive for it. And they were talking about this trend that they're trying to get away from this excessive polishing.
It's crazy how it turned 180
exactly.
degrees from getting to zero polishing ratio
and
to
then,
it's 599.
We reached 0.2. Okay, we can go.
But that's the fun of it, because you know, with these trends, you just get completely different sake every few years and new stuff to try.
It's very creamy. It's
super creamy. I think the Kimoto here comes up a lot in terms of milky texture and creaminess.
Again, it's quite a lot of acidity, and it's again it's sweet, but acidity is very balanced.
Yes.
It's very
not like the Kaoruyama, definitely.
This one it goes on you like I'm acidic sake, but this one is very balanced.
Yes. Just a touch to not make it too sickly, creamy. Yes. And it's very nice at this temperature, because it's I think it makes it open and to express itself much better. So we tried to warm it up, this one. Surprisingly, it becomes more fruity. The acidity, I think, lowers down, so it becomes more mellow and becomes more fruity. So, it's very interesting to warm it up.
Yeah. So, do you recommend to drink it room temperature and warmed up, or you can drink it chilled as well? What do you think?
We haven't tried to drink it chilled yet. It's probably gonna be nice. I guess it's up to your own personal taste, right?
Because some sake, when you try it chilled, it's nothing special. And when it warms up a bit, it opens up, and you've got a lot of aroma and taste. But some sake is pretty.
So the reason why we didn't try to get it chilled yet, although personally if I'm gonna buy a bottle, which probably gonna happen soon because the weather calls for it, the name is Kan Atsurae, which means treat it like a warm one, like this is your warm sake basically. So we trusted them, and that's why we tried it at room temperature first and then warmed up.
And it's quite interesting because it's like a 13 point something ABV.
Very low compared to, I mean not very low, but lower than.
Yeah, it's more like wine rather than sake, because I guess usually 15, 16. Sake. I mean, I think it's another trend to make sake slightly lower in terms of alcohol.
Even the Ginjo, so the undiluted one, a lot of people. We have a couple in the shop that are undiluted, and you look at the ABV and you think, seriously?
So what is your food pairing recommendation?
For this one, again, we have a choice of either savory or sweet, because there is a bit of sweetness in the actual sake, which to me it reminds me a lot of panna cotta. So a bit of milky creaminess, a little bit of vanilla, and maybe touch of the bitter caramel kind of. It's not as bitter, but there's a bit of going on, which maybe it's the umami that comes in. And we chose either blondies, so the white versions of brownies, or a potato velouté. But honestly, I think you can pair also other things with this.
I think you can pair it with, I don't know, I don't mind to pair it with a pizza, for example, because it should be very nice. Because it's slightly sweet, on the sweet side. Pizza is obviously salty, and I think it's both are very full of umami. And it must be a very good combination.
Of course, our food pairing suggestions are just a couple, because
we
had to try a lot of sakes, but it calls for really experimentations in terms of food pairings, because you might find out that the flavors just compensate each other, or they even highlight each other's. I was thinking, now that you were saying it, actually a pizza with butterscotch base, something like that.
Something
Since
like
the
that,
season
yeah.
is calling. Yeah.
And it's definitely autumn sake, winter sake. It's great for this season because you can warm it up, have very nice autumn, late autumn, wintry food like stew or roasted vegetables. And,
Nice.
Yeah, it's
I love
definitely
autumn. It's my favorite season.
Yeah, and the finish is very quick. Quick, but with some kind of a bit of a tail, I would say.
It's not as sharp like
exactly. But
I
it's
don't
not
know,
like
I
a
need
wall.
understand, but yes.
It's got like a
not
very
even a
sort of-
koshu kind of thing. Yes.
It's quite nice. And, I definitely would like to warm it up and think, okay, so it must be great.
I think of this as a very comforting sake.
Oh yeah, exactly.
It's especially because it's not very high in ABV, so you can just sip it. Nothing too much, but still, there's still going on, something going on in your palate.
Yeah.
And especially if you warm it up, it's just
Exactly. It's for this kind of the weather. It was raining today, and
on a windy and rainy day, Kan Atsurae.
Yeah.
We should do the commercial.
And I like that they make sake in small bottles because sometimes you don't want to open the bottle and you think, okay, I'll have some of sake and have like amazing sake in a small bottle. I like the bottle.
I should show you the whole range is very cute. That's why I'm trying to get them all to the UK because it's really, especially when seen together.
So it's some kind of, it's like a scroll.
Yeah. This one actually, it's true. You want to consume it as soon as possible, but this one I think it keeps pretty, especially because the rice polishing ratio is so high. It can keep for quite a while and still remain.
Yeah. It's another thing about the low polishing that doesn't change as highly polished sake. So I remember I was having some sake and I went to the brewery's website and they said, oh, you can open it and keep it in a cupboard for whatever time it will get better.
But so the very cool thing about having so many sakes available in our shop and having to try them, because of course you know what kind of products you're tasting, is that we also have the chance to try them after a few weeks.
Yeah.
They change so much, and sometimes not really. Sometimes they're just exactly the same. But sometimes they get sweeter, sometimes they get more acidic. It's like you can basically taste two completely different products if you're willing to experiment.
Yeah.
It's so fascinating.
Yeah, it's amazing thing about sake. It's such a multifaceted thing.
Hopefully you're gonna see them in the shop soon. But just in case. Yes, I'm over 20. Well over 20. Also another thing that is very interesting to Niida Honke is that the wife of the current brewer, especially after the earthquake, they were trying to rethink a little bit what they could do to help the sales. And so they have a whole range of non-alcoholic products that are made with sake kasu. Okay. So for example, amazake or little snacks and little things up here there.
Yeah, let's probably
next
move to the next.
My fave. Did you tell me you like Kimoto?
Yeah, I like Kimoto. You can smell the gameness of Kimoto and acidity. And it's not like your normal Junmai Ginjo, which is fruity and light.
I find it the perfect combination of fruitiness, funkiness, and creaminess.
Yeah.
So.
Because you've got some fruity notes, like plum or some grapes, or some of, I guess.
I smell a lot like of peach compote, so like cooked.
Yeah, exactly.
Fruits.
And on the other hand, you can have like you still got like a bit of mushroomy and so a bit of licorice probably. Yeah, it's
quite acidic. Yeah. It's it's amazing. Yeah, this one is amazing as well. I mean, they're all amazing. But they're all amazing in their own way. And this one is, it's acidic, it's sweet, and it's quite like the texture.
I find, yes, the texture is really mouth coating.
Yeah, only sort of
like a cuddle to your tongue, really.
Yeah, exactly. And you want to get back to it because of the texture.
Yes.
Okay, it's so nice, so comforting. Yeah.
But also I think there are all different levels of taste that come one after the other, but also all together, which is so fun. You have the creaminess, but it's not as like the Kan Atsurae, which is kind of sweet, which is more cream cheese kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the acidity of the kimoto kicks in a little bit more in this one. And then you have a little bit of fruitiness, which is, again, it's not exactly the fresh fruits typical of Ginjos.
Yeah.
It's more, in this case, kind of almost candied lemon peels. I don't know. It's exactly. Something different again.
And the finish is quite long. You have it, and it stays with you for some time.
And in the finish, it goes back to kind of umami savoriness.
Yeah. And because I remember I was wondering, thinking, okay, why do people make Junmai de Ginjo, for example, Kimoto? Because what's the point? But here you can understand why. You got this cleanliness of this Junmai Ginjo, clean, light on the way, and very elegant. But on the other hand, you've got all this umami and acidity and complexity provided by Kimoto method.
Yes.
And it's an amazing combination.
Yes. It's a lot of fun to just simply sip for your meal, but also to still enjoy every single sip, what's going on in your palate.
And it's this kind of sake you can drink on its own. You can drink with food. Yeah. And so it's very versatile, which makes it an amazing drink. Yeah. And it's obviously, when we first tried it, it was chilled, but now it's slightly warmed up.
And, we recommend drinking it chilled, not very chilled, like you would do with the normal Junmai Ginjo, precisely because the umaminess might get a bit fading away. But honestly, I'm curious to try and warm it up once to see what happens.
I think definitely this one you can warm up and try it warm, and depending on your mood and occasion, the weather.
Yes.
Because I mean, in probably in summer you can chill it in the fridge and have it as a nice sort of afternoon sip. But in winter, then you want probably to warm it up and a nice warmer. Yeah,
because the Kan Atsurae becomes more fruity actually, warming it up. I'm very curious to see what happens with this one. If it gets even more fruity, or if the opposite, the fruitiness is going to disappear and you're going to taste more of the umami notes.
Because when it's warming up, like on room temperature, it gets more mellow. Yes. And acidity goes away a bit. It becomes like a smoother and So do you have food pairing recommendations?
Yes. For this one, given its unique texture, we were thinking something as creamy. So either something like a mushroom stroganoff. So you have umami and creaminess, or I don't know if you ever had them. I love them. I miss them. I want to go back to Japan to have them again. Kanikrimu croque. So they are croquettes made with crab and cream.
Oh no, never tried it. Yeah,
really good.
Sounds amazing.
Yes. I tried to make them once.
My mouth is watering.
Yeah, they're not super hard, but you need a good freezer. I didn't have a good freezer, so it was a bit of a mess. But you do what you can for the time being. Yeah. Or even just a more simple chicken and mushroom dish. Yeah. So just trying to combine a bit of umaminess, because you do get a bit of mushroom.
Especially it's definitely in the nose. Yeah, you've got mushrooms, and there is a creaminess and umami, which obviously works very well with mushrooms. And I think you've got creamy. Or you can have
probably mushroom risotto as well,
Yes.
which is amazing with this one.
I think the only reason why we didn't include it is that we had just used them, and being Italian, I was kind of
Yeah.
recommending risotto too many times. Let's avoid it for this. Like, okay. No, I think it would be amazing because you have again creaminess, umaminess. You even have the parmesan cheese, like
Yeah,
perfect.
it's a perfect
Yeah.
marriage of sake and food. Yeah, it's
And it's very good value for money because I think one bottle is £36 and the Magnum is 70, I think. So
yeah.
for a Junmai Ginjo, I think of
Yeah.
this complexity,
Yeah.
I think it's very good value for money.
So it's a 60%
Yes.
polishing ratio.
Correct. And Shizenshu from this brewing era is using Toyonishiki rice from Miyagi Prefecture. So they're changing things a little bit more recently. They're trying to do rice from closer to the brewery.
Yeah.
And I think they're even using some rice that the brewers are helping in farming. But this one was still made in Miyagi Prefecture.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So it's your favorite
Of these four, yes.
four?
But yeah, I like them all for different reasons.
Yeah.
I think this one was one of those that was like, I don't know. Maybe no, one of the first. I don't know. I had so many encounters since I started these jobs. Like,
Yeah.
oh, there's also can be this one. This one, I think it was ticking all the boxes. That's why I liked it so much.
Okay.
It has everything I want from a drink. Yeah. Right.
And I think it's a very good showcase of the brewery, this particular one, because you've got, as I said, combination of elegant style, but still a lot of complexity,
Yes.
acidity, and I think it's a good for experimentation because we can try to warm it up, and try to chill it out, and try it with different food, and it will work.
Yes. Yes.
Which is it's not like a sake where you can say okay, so you have to drink it chilled and that's it.
Yeah.
With sashimi, which could be amazing sake, but if you want to experiment, you've got like quite a big option, range of options how you want to drink it.
It's more entertaining sake.
Yeah, exactly.
In
Yeah,
that sense.
yeah, it's true.
You want to be more?
I can't refuse. A bit. Smaller one.
Yeah.
And what I like about this sake we had already, that alcohol is very well integrated. You don't feel it. I mean, it's obviously low alcohol, which is
This is 15.7 actually.
Yeah.
So
this is much higher, but the previous one too were low.
Yeah.
But it's still, you don't have this kind of alcohol as a separate thing. So
No,
it's,
no.
So
they're dangerously smooth, I think.
yeah, okay, I agree. It's dangerous because you can drink it and it doesn't feel like I'm drinking alcohol. It's like more like a nice drink, and then you find yourself in a difficult situation.
Yes.
But again, it's worth it because it's such an amazing sake. Yeah.
Is this the kind of Kimoto you like, or you prefer funkier flavors?
Again, it depends on the occasion, because this one I like because it's elegant and versatile, and you can have it with different food, or you can have it without food. You can have it just with cheese and some other snacks, and it will be great. But sometimes you've got Kimoto, which is much funkier, but you won't drink it on its own. You have to drink it with some food as a part of the meal, and depending on that, if you don't want to have like a big meal with sake, it's a bit difficult. But I like Kimoto because it gives quite a lot of complexity and
Yes. This one actually higher in ABV, 16.8. Yes.
looks like a milk bottle.
Milk bottle, yes.
So white and I think it's very thick. I mean,
I think it's definitely the thickest we have in the shop.
Yeah, this is thick. It's more like, it's thicker than milk. Definitely.
Yes. It's like double cream.
It's quite tarty, sort of.
So you can still definitely smell the kimoto in this one.
It's quite interesting smell. Aroma is so interesting, It's like a sharp note, and you can sort of, probably because of the look, you can smell, but again, it's lactic acid. You can smell milk and dairy.
Yeah. When we first tried it, we all thought like banana yogurt.
Yeah. Wow. It's something that you don't expect. You expect it to be sweeter, but it's not. It's very acidic. It's quite chewy.
It is.
And it's
very choky.
Yeah.
The brewer, they said they were trying to recreate the texture of full-length snow in your palate. So yeah, it is choky, but it's also kind of soft in its milkiness.
And it's bitter. It's a lot of bitterness. So it's quite sharp. This kind of, because when you think about it and look at it, you think, oh yeah, it's probably like a sort of like a milk liquor, and it should be sweet and.
It's definitely one of the most savory nigori I've ever had.
Yeah. I know that overseas, I mean, outside Japan, nigori tend to be sweet.
Yes.
While in Japan, it's quite often it's savory.
Yeah. You find all sort of nigoris in Japan. Well, here, a lot of people know just a couple of brands, and so they're expecting something very sweet.
When it's getting slightly warmer, it releases a bit more sweetness, but it's still like it's very. I mean, it's one of the most unusual sake I had.
Yes.
In recent sort of months, to be honest.
It's interesting because this, in theory, should be the most traditional one. It's nigori and kimoto and everything.
Yeah.
And yet it tastes like something very unique. Like
it's very unique.
More experimental like Kaoruyama.
And it's very difficult to place. And so what is your pairing suggestion?
For this one, I think any spicy food would be pretty much an amazing pairing. Because it's going to be savory enough to pair with them, but also the creaminess is just going to balance perfectly.
Yeah.
Anyway, we were thinking about buffalo wings or spicy biryani, but also like a properly done fried chicken with some good spices in it. I think it would pair really well.
Yeah, I think it's definitely like I would recommend if somebody asks, okay, I've got Indian food, I would like some kind of, but I want sake with it. Yeah, it's definitely something that you can have it. Because if you've got spicy food, it will coat the spiciness and make it nice. And it's although it's what is it, ABV?
16.8.
Yeah, it's pretty high ABV, but you don't really feel it.
Again, dangerously.
No way. Yeah, exactly.
Smooth.
And but if it's like more like on the sweeter side, like a korma or something, still very good combination.
Because it's not 100% dry. You still have the sweetness of the rice and a hint of banana in it. But it's not as sweet as you are saying, rightfully, as other nigori. So it's.
I think the only thing about this sake is obviously people should be prepared this chalkiness, because it's something very unusual for somebody who never tried sake before. It's probably will be a bit like hit and miss. Yeah. But if you know what sake is,
we properly tell customers who are attracted by nigoris like this is very savory and very choky and quite an interesting texture.
Yeah. But it's definitely one of the sake. It's great for experimentation. And again, this nigori you can warm it up, because this is savory nigori. Because
I want to try and do it right now. Yeah. Yes, we are starting now to actually experiment with warming up the sakes, because again, it's not 30 degrees anymore in London,
Yeah,
so it's fine.
Yeah.
I think honestly this one also for cocktails would work really well if you do a bit of a savory cocktail.
Yeah. Because it definitely will work with. But it's, I think it's, I mean, you have to know how to make cocktails because this one is probably quite difficult to match with something because some osake you can match with some juice and some sparkling sort of thing, and but this one is but yeah, I agree that you can make it into very nice cocktail with something.
Just because it's so thick and it stays there. I think even if you mix it with something, you're still gonna taste it.
Yeah, exactly. It stays on your palate, and I think it's like a proper Nigori that you've got like
to satisfy
properly. Yeah, exactly. Because sometimes you've got like a Nigori and think, like too sweet. It's nice probably because I know that in the States it used to be, I don't know how it's now, but it used to be very popular to have Nigori and sushi.
Oh really?
Yeah, because Nigori is sweet, sushi is salty, and it's a very good combination. But it's definitely a completely different type of Nigori, and
yes,
and it's and you can feel like this. As you said, it's Kimoto and Nigori, because Nigori is it's from Dubaroko, basically, and Kimoto is the very traditional method of making sake, and you can sort of like imagine how sake was before it became what we drink now.
Before the Ginjo boom.
Yeah, and exactly, and even like when you read about like a medieval, like Heian period sake, when they sometimes say, sometimes they have sake with chopstick because it's so thick, and you can imagine
with this one you can imagine.
Yeah, you can imagine like this booziness, like a boozy porridge thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, when the bottle is not mixed, I think that the sediments occupy between 1/3 and 1/4 of the bottle.
Yeah.
A lot of sediments.
It's great range, but they're all different and they're all very interesting. So they're all not your typical sake, not your typical sort of thing you can usually buy, and makes it very interesting because you've got a mixture of traditional method, high acidity, and experimentation, like white koji. It's very experimental for sake, and you've got low polishing, and I mean 60% is still high polishing, so it's
lower.
it's lower than
80.
50 or like 40%, but still it's pretty high. So it's and they're all very distinctive with their own character, with own proposition to a drinker.
Yes. Yeah, I think I like that about Niida Honke because all the products we have, they're all completely different.
Yeah.
Next time you should try the Odayaka sparkling because it's a very good sparkling.
Yeah.
Each one has its own personality and its own perfect time.
Yeah, exactly. You've got
We enjoy it.
Yeah, but they're all versatile. Apart from probably Nigori.
Nigori is the less versatile,
Yeah.
I mean, you can have it as an aperitif, I guess.
Yeah.
If you add a bit of spices or something like that.
But the previous three, they're quite versatile.
Yes, indeed.
It's a good thing about sake. I love versatility of sake.
Yes.
And it's a very good sort of display of the brewery. You can feel sort of like character of people behind this sake, because you try several ones, they're different, but they've got something in common. Something in common is that the way they try to present traditional drink in a slightly new way.
Yes.
And it's
Another thing that I forgot to mention is that they actually have a piano at the brewery. Sometimes they play
Really?
while the moromi is fermenting.
okay.
So maybe you get also a bit of that in the final taste, a bit of
God.
cuddles from musical
Yeah.
vibrations.
Because I heard about another brewery. They play music during like a brewery.
Yes, yes.
This kind of, I don't remember what kind of music, but it's more like a pop music. And
Really?
But yeah. Brewery, I think some brewery they were playing like a heavy metal.
We do have a bottle that was not from Niida Honke, from Tomono, that was brewed while listening to the Beatles.
Alright.
So it's becoming more of a thing,
Yeah.
maybe. But yes, it's an interesting brewery. They honor tradition, but at the same time they're trying their own new ways. And I just like their products. I like their story. I like all the effort they had to put, not just to keep the brewery going, but also after all the disaster that they had to face.
Yeah.
They all show a lot of, strong will and just this amazing idea of let's try to think about what's gonna come after us,
Yeah.
to
yeah.
not just exploit natural environment, but also trying to preserve it. And I think it all goes into the sake.
Yeah, it's definitely you can feel it, and it's a great sake for basically for novices and people who just
Yes.
start drinking sake, and for people who got so connoisseurs in a
Yes,
way of
yes.
sake and who wants to try something different. Yeah, it's amazing brewery. Yeah, thanks a lot for
It was a pleasure.
Yeah, thanks a lot. So, what is in the what are your plans for the future, the Sake Collective? How you want to develop the shop in the next few years? Yeah.
In the short term, we just want people to know more about sake, so we're planning more tasting events, and just trying people to know what's out there. Then we're gonna open the bar, hopefully very soon, where people will be able to try 30 plus sake by the glass. So again, if you don't know what to buy, you can try a glass first, and then you see what to buy. Because again, the sake are going to be arranged into categories of flavors, kind of. So not just Junmai, Ginjo, Honjos or whatever, but in terms of what they actually, the flavor profile. So fruity, dry, etc.
Yeah.
And then, as Dorinas was saying earlier, we are also planning to open the restaurant section. So we're gonna have tsumami, small tapas style dishes that are gonna pair well with the sakes we're serving. And this is the short-term plans. But then in the long term, I think we just want to get even more sakes. We would like to get up to having right now we have 108 products, just sake.
Yeah.
We would like to reach up to 300. We really would like to get all the cool stuff from Japan, all the small craft breweries that do good stuff, to get them in the shop and let people who live in London, actually all over the UK, because we're delivering all over the UK, to try it.
Yeah.
Especially now that, yes, Japan reopened the borders, but the tickets, I was looking at them, they're a bit too expensive, at least for now, so you can at least get a taste of Japan. Without going too far away, yes.
Yeah, it's you've got amazing shop with a very well structured display of the products and great choice of sake. And I wish you all the best. And
thank you very much.
Thanks a lot for the talking to me, and
thank you for inviting. It was a
providing
lot of fun.
this tasting, which was a lot of fun. It's amazing.
It was even more fun.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
That's it for today. I'll be back with more interviews about various sake breweries and sake scenes around the world, as well as a few special episodes. In the meantime, if you live or work in London or visit London, drop by Sake Collective on Commercial Street and buy some Niida Honke sake or any other sake and chat with Elena or Lori. Elena was talking about opening the bar and the kitchen in the interview, and they are now opened. So you can have a glass of sake with some food there if you like. Sake Collective also have an online shop where you can order sake if you are far from London. Talking about online sake stores, the London Sake website sells a lot of various sake, and they're back from the Christmas and New Year break. And if you're still unsure what sake to buy, look up the tasting notes section on my website, sugidama.co.uk. If you have any questions or suggestions about any sake topic, just drop me a line. My email address is alex@sugidama.co.uk, or you can tag me on Instagram @sugidamablog in one word, or now on Mastodon as well, where I am @sugidamablog @universeodon.com. Again, if you liked the episode and want more, hit the subscribe button, and you will get every new episode downloaded to your player as soon as it's out. If you would like to give me a bit of support, please leave a review or rate Sugidama Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podchaser, or anywhere you can do it. But more importantly, please share this podcast with your friends on your social media, chat apps, anywhere. The more new people start listening to Sugidama Podcast, the more actively the podcasting platforms start recommending it to other listeners. So it's the best way to bring new people to the world of sake. Thanks a lot for listening. Kampai.
Suge, 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 Sugidama blog. Suge, 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 Sugidama blog.